All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Justin here, Steinmetz Family Farm. It's over. The Camelback Mountain Resort goat snuggling is over for the season, and I'm here to break down the booth space, pack it all up in that. Now, I don't think I'm actually going to fit it all. They did say I could leave the pallets, so my job is going to be disassembling these pallets, a lot of the pressure treated timbers that I put up to hold my sunshades down, the spools and the chairs, and the biggest job of all is actually going to be all of this wet straw and hay. And I was told I am allowed to pile it up off to the side over here, allow them to compost it later. Now, I don't know if I brought all the right tips. Who knows? The tips and bits that I'm going to need to disassemble this. I can't remember what I used exactly. But that's my job today, is to disassemble this entire area, load it up and get it out of here. I'm hoping I don't have to make 2 trips because this is an hour and a half away from my house. And right here, I had to take the second tier, the second level, off of my trailer in order to fit the dingo. And I did bring the dingo bucket and the forks. So I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to start, and I did also forget the ladder. However, I can pretty much stand on top of a lot of this stuff. I already know I forgot this tip right here. And I'm debating, do I just try to use the dingo to demolish this and say I don't care about saving it, or do I drive myself back down the hill to the store and buy what I need? I don't know. Life is confusing sometimes, trying to figure it all out. I think I'll repurpose these shades at the farm. That would be kind of nice. But overall, the integrity of the booth did kind of stay together. The sunshades did sag a lot more than I expected, which is sad. But I don't see any holes in them, so that's all reusable. And I obviously have to move a bunch of rocks and other things. Fun times. All right, my first step in getting everything ready is actually to get the dingo ready, get the forks off, set that kind of stuff to the side. I'm gonna find my impact gun, and I'm gonna get ready to take the roofing panels off. Now, these were just little plastic corrugated panels that I picked up at Home Depot or Lowe's, I can't remember. They're cheap, inexpensive, reusable, super easy. Gonna save them and stick them in the barn somewhere with the rest of my collection. And then this is their shelter. This is the framing part of their shelter, where I am trying to keep the goats from the elements during the night. Actually, it really wasn't the elements I was worried about, it was the bears. I was worried the bears would come in. So I know it probably wouldn't have worked 100%, but it made it through the 6 weekends of goat snuggling, and we were able to keep them safe. There was a little hole right there that we let them go in and out. These sunshades were on Amazon. They were pretty cheap. I think they were only like $40 or $50 a piece. And then, of course, no swimming allowed, buddy. Yep. I found a mouse floating in the water. I needed the water dish to put all the extra screws in, so did that right there. Now it's time to get all the chairs loaded up. 48 seats is what we had, and I guess we were pretty busy the whole time. I actually never was up there during the event. I did the setup and I did the breakdown. That was my job. So I want to make sure I save those and possibly use them for the farm or near the pool area. This is a repair they had to do because my construction kind of fell apart. Next is starting with the side wall, taking it down. Now guys, I never went and got the bit that I needed. I never picked that up. What I did is basically bent and twisted. I did use my impact and unscrew what I could, but there was a lot of pieces of wood that I couldn't. Look at that. That's so much fun. And I was taking a break while these guys went down the hill, and then I found a cute little squirrel. Actually, that's a chipmunk. Look at that guy. He's adorable. Stuffing his mouth with nuts. All right, moving on to the second wall. This is the backside where the shelter was. Taking down these pallets. This little archway that I made right there, that was a little difficult to get apart, and I had to pull out the saw and cut it. And be careful, because I just pushed it to the ground and then took the boards, twisted them apart. Everything came apart just fine. Now I did load up all of those 4x4s and pressure treated. I wasn't going to leave those. It was nice that they allowed me to keep the pallets there. Now I don't know if I have to go back today, because I was told I needed to remove everything, and I left 4 spools. Look at all the commotion going on in the background. These little sky carts or mountain roller coasters are coming down the hill all day while I'm slaving and working. That's kind of fun. All right, this is the third wall right along the side of the dingo, taking that stuff down, this post. I kept those 2 pieces of wood together right there and just put it off to the side. Now we're on the final stretch right here. Final stretch. Again, the archway right there is the hardest part. Look at the families just walking by. Again, this is a Camelback Mountain Resort. It's a vacation spot, and I guess if you booked a room, you had the ability to go on their zip line, you could go on their mountain roller coaster, and you could goat snuggle. So we did make a billboard. I don't know where the picture is for that. There I just loaded up the rocks and dumped them. I made a jack stand to hold up the walls there. So I'm just consolidating all the stuff into certain areas. This is where the dingo came in handy. Take a look at that. Stacking up the spools, moving them off to the side, and then I'm able to pick up each pile of pallets and move them off to the side. Look at that. That is a time saver right there. Then I'm going to finish picking up a little bit of debris, switch my forks to the bucket. By switching to the bucket, then I can scrape all of that hay and straw into one pile. Now I took it down precisely. They're ready for seed. They can seed it and sprinkle a little of this straw back on there, and they'll have grass in no time. I did warn them that they would probably lose grass after we were done. Then I tried to cram everything inside the truck. That was fun on the knees, up and down. Everything did seem to fit. As you notice right up above, there's no room for spools or anything like that. And now this is where it gets interesting. If I had those forks attached to the front of the dingo, it would be too long to fit inside of the trailer. So I had to have the bucket on, and this is the positioning on how I found fits the forks best inside the trailer. Problem is that dingo and then these forks getting inside of the trailer, there's no more floor space. Here we go, creeping up in there. That ramp is super strong. It's a very strong ramp. All right, get up on in there, tuck that to the front, and I'm gonna put the parking brake on this thing and start loading the spools. Guys, something's about to happen. These are heavy. Mind you, these things are heavy. They've been soaked. So I managed to get that one up. That wasn't so bad. I'm embarrassed about what's about to happen here. This is the moment. All right, I'm contemplating my options. I realized how heavy this thing was. So the other one, I just muscled it up there. Oh gosh. I should have went to the bathroom sooner. You know where this is going. I have to get it on top of the dingo. There's no floor space. I couldn't close the door right there. It needed to go up there. All right, so I get down and I think I'm gonna muscle it up, right? Now all day my stomach was a little iffy. I was a little iffy with my stomach, and I thought, well, I'll just get the job done. I figured I'll just get the job done. I'll get it done. Don't worry, it'll get finished. I just dropped the phone during my recording. Let's see if I can keep you guys positioned. All right. It doesn't matter because I'm still over here working on trying to figure out how to get this spool up. I know it's taking me a lot of time. I understand that you probably, if you got something better to do, go away. But if you want to see me crap myself, this is the time. All right. Struggling. Doesn't work. So I'm going to get my other arm underneath. Yeah, that doesn't work. I'm going to position the spool on my knees, and I'm going to lift with my legs. All right, right here. There. That was the moment. That was the moment I crapped myself. Watch my face. That is so disgusting. What's even more disgusting is I drove home in those pants. I think I should have used a belt. Oh, I can't believe I'm putting this on social media. All right, so I continue on with the rest of the spools, finding any little corner or crevice to stuff them in. And here's where I shut it. And I try to toss one over the top. And realize I'm not going to close the top doors. So I let it out and I give up and I just try the side door. That doesn't work either. Screw it. I'm done. I'm leaving them behind. If they tell me to come back for 4 spools, then I guess I have to go back for 4 spools. But that's pretty much it, guys. That is the breakdown of the Camelback Mountain Resort goat snuggling. This is what's left, and maybe we'll be back in the fall. I don't know. Oh, lastly, there is the 4x4s I need to load up, and I stuffed them down inside of the trailer there, just kind of in between the spools. I had to go to the side door and pull them through and get everything situated, but those are expensive. Lumber is expensive nowadays. You can't. And Lowe's took away the 10% discount on lumber. Yeah, they did. So she's loaded up, and I'm ready to go home. Well, that sucked. But it's ready for grass seed. They've got some compost. They said we could leave the pallets. And I only had to sacrifice a couple of spools because I cannot fit any more spools inside of this trailer. I live in shame for what happened. This is all I can do. And that thing, well, I think it was the other one back there. You know what it did to me.
Join the show just after 7. Watch us in our animal heaven. Wake up with goats and chicks. Come feed the cows all their grain mix. Join the show just after 7. Take a head count, 9, 10, 11. With the crew, come take a pic. Just watch for the cows 'cause they might kick.